There's something you need to understand before we begin. This painting was never meant for you. It hung on a wall inside Francisco Goya's house. No title, no explanation, no intention of showing it to anyone. And if you look closely enough, you start to see something most people miss. This isn't a myth about a god devouring his child. This is a self-portrait, a man swallowing what's left of himself. Before we talk about the painting, you need to understand the room it lived in. Goya called his home La Quinta del Sordo, the house of the deaf man. He had gone completely deaf years before. Silence became his prison, and inside that silence, his mind began to split. The black paintings weren't framed canvases, they were murals, painted directly onto the plaster of his walls. The kind of thing you do when you're not planning to leave anything behind. Imagine walking into that room, the air heavy, the floor warped, candlelight trembling on cracked walls, and then you turn, and it's there. A giant figure with blood on its mouth, eyes bulging, fingers digging into flesh. Not in a museum, not behind glass, just staring at you from the corner of a man's home. For decades, people called this Saturn devouring his son, borrowing the name from Roman mythology. But look at it again. There's no background, no sky, no symbolism, no narrative, nothing that connects it to the myth. Just raw panic, just hunger, just the violence of a mind bleeding into paint. Mythological Saturn ate his children whole, instantly, to prevent a prophecy. But this creature chews, rips, tears. This isn't mythology, this is madness. And that's why scholars began saying something quietly, uncomfortably. This might not be Saturn at all. This might be Goya. To understand why, you need to know what Goya had lived through. He saw public executions, bodies stacked in famine, women and children brutalized during war, the terror of political purges, friends disappearing, a country devouring itself. Every nightmare he painted, he saw first. Then came illness, panic attacks, paranoia, deafness, isolation, the fear of losing his mind. And in those final years, alone in his house with nothing but silence, he turned inward. Look at the creature's face again. That's not a god. That's the expression of someone terrified of what he's become. Eyes wide, skin stretched, mouth frozen somewhere between hunger and regret. He's not killing someone else. He's consuming himself, his youth, his sanity, his identity, his legacy. It's the terror of aging, the terror of disappearing, the terror of no longer recognizing the man in the mirror. This is Goya devouring Goya. Look at the body being consumed. It's not clearly male, not clearly a child. The proportions are off, the anatomy warped. Some art historians even argue it might be a woman's body. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Goya had lost several children. He carried that grief like a stone inside him. It shows up everywhere in his work. So what is he devouring? A son, a memory, his youth, his hope, his sanity. The body is ambiguous on purpose, because the monster isn't a character in a myth. The monster is every fear Goya couldn't silence. Remember, he painted this on the wall of his home. No one to impress, no patron to please, no rules to follow. Just him and darkness. The black paintings read like diary entries. If you look at them in order, they feel like a man sinking. Each one a confession, each one a piece of him being swallowed. And then comes this painting, the largest, the loudest, the most unhinged, the final scream of a man who can't scream. When you step back, the terrifying thing isn't the monster. It's the possibility that Goya didn't paint a god at all. He painted a fear every human eventually feels. The fear of losing control, the fear of being consumed by time, the fear of becoming the monster in your own story. This is not Saturn devouring his son. This is a man devoured by himself.